up, part 2 of my exclusive interview with San Diego's Public Utilities Director. What more he has to say about the ongoing billing issues.
Guns, drugs, and auto theft. We're talking about Operation Sunrise. Renters are fired up about Conservice. We went to work for you and heard back from the company.
11 billion gallons of water wasted, released from Lake Hodges Dam over the past year.
It was finally time for Laura Chavez to step into the spotlight. How you can attend Laura Fest.
CBS 8 News, live at 6, starts now. Tonight, we begin with more from our exclusive interview with San Diego's Public Utilities Director as he addresses and apologizes for billing issues that have impacted thousands of customers. Good evening. I'm Jesse Pagan in for Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Here at CBS 8, we've spent months investigating this issue and working for you to get answers. Shannon Handy sat down with Juan Guerrero yesterday. She has more on his regrets and what customers can expect moving forward.
We have worked tirelessly to figure out why your bills aren't being sent on time and why it's taken years to fix a problem. I asked Juan Guerrero those questions and more. Ultimately, he apologized and says the issue will be resolved in September.
Well, it's a large bill, $16,000.
It's a story we've been covering for months.
I just didn't notice that I wasn't getting my water bill.
What did it add up to?
It added up to almost $2,900.
San Diego Public Utilities customers have been missing water bills, and then without explanation or warning, they received a ton of bills all at once, totaling thousands of dollars.
All these bills, it's just crazy.
After several requests, I finally sat down with the Director of Public Utilities, Juan Guerrero, who offered this message to those affected.
I want to apologize to our customers who haven't received any notification before their bills were held.
Guerrero explained bills are held when they're being investigated for a suspected leak or other issues. During that time, people aren't getting billed or notified, and if they do notice and go online to check, their account says zero.
The $0 account balance is really there because they haven't been billed yet.
Guerrero says the department didn't want to send out inaccurate bills, which is why they sent none at all. Adding staffing issues led to a backlog of held bills, some of which were held for more than a year. They've hired more people to get through that, but still have 10 open positions. As for not notifying customers, he says their outdated IT system is undergoing a complete overhaul, which has prohibited them from sending out automatic alerts. He says a fix is coming in September, when letters will start getting mailed out to customers impacted. I question why they couldn't notify customers using other tactics in the meantime. I'm not an IT person, but I would think to put just something on the front page of your home screen to say, if you haven't received a bill, it could be because of this, would be an easy fix.
Yeah, I think that would be an easy fix, and I think it's a really good suggestion. I
also asked Guerrero why it's taken so long to address this problem, which was highlighted in this audit dating back to 2018. The audit looked at ways the department could improve and listed 10 recommendations, notifying customers as one of them. Guerrero says those other recommendations took priority, noting the department has had to undergo a lot of changes, including hiring a new management team in 2019.
It goes back to the volume of issues and prioritizing and working through each one of the issues. It's taken a lot more time than any of us would have hoped, but it's for very concrete reasons because we want to make sure the fixes are done well.
As for any regrets, Guerrero says he doesn't have any except for one.
We need to communicate a little bit more frequently with our customers and let them know what we're working on, what we're doing.
You're confident in your staff and the improvements you're making, but can customers trust the Public Utilities Department?
Absolutely.
And our work doesn't end here. We will check back and make sure this issue is resolved in September. The city's auditor is also scheduled to get an update on their progress next month. In addition to that, we've reached out to your city leaders to ensure they're paying attention. Meanwhile, customers impacted can go on payment plans to get their bills resolved. Working for you, I'm Shannon Handy for CBS 8.
And that was a good suggestion, Shannon. Here at CBS 8, we want to help solve problems that are affecting you. If there's something you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com.
Escondido police are investigating an incident between 3 teenage girls and a North County Transit District bus driver earlier this week.
We have video tonight, and we want to warn you, it's pretty upsetting to watch. The San Pasqual High students are minors, having not been charged with a crime, so we've covered their faces. Police say this all started after school Tuesday. The driver shut off the bus and called his supervisor after a disturbance broke out on the bus. Police say a fight started between the 64-year-old driver and at least two of the girls when they tried to get off the bus and he stood in the doorway. He eventually moved out of the way but pushed one of the girls as she got off the bus, and that's when police say another fight started. One of the girls is seen on camera punching the driver and knocking him to the ground. At least one other girl joined into the fight. You see it there. A male student and an off-duty security guard pulled the girls away from the driver. They then ran away. The Escondido Unified High School District is working with police in this investigation. Anyone with information is asked to call Escondido Police.
Tonight we're hearing from Conservice, a utility billing company. Last week, some of you renting called out Conservice for unfair billing practices and a lack of transparency.
CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes is working for you and took your concerns to the company last week. Kirsten is live tonight after getting a response from the company. Kirsten.
Okay, so we received a statement from Conservice that says in part, quote, on occasion, a knowledge gap between residents and the nuances of utility billing can happen. They go on to explain the shared utility billing structure that they use, but the customers I talked to over the past week say that the shared utilities billing is not working for them.
What are you actually billing me?
Anissa Yukich has been going back and forth with her apartment's leasing office and Conservice since 2021 when she noticed her utility bill skyrocketed in 1 month.
And $40. The very next month, it's over $100. How? I go back home. I call Conservice. And they're like, well, we can't legally give you a breakdown because it would entail or it would have everyone else's information.
She's not alone. There's a class action lawsuit against Conservice after renters say they can't get individual utility bills. And when they ask about getting an individual bill, they can't get answers. We went to work for you and reached out to Conservice more than a week ago about the issue, and they sent a statement that says in part, quote, most properties only have one water meter coming into the community. The individual units have to be billed separately by the property, and companies like Conservice work to ensure that happens fairly and efficiently. We share utility bill usage, fee structure, and historical consumption data directly on each resident's bill alongside conservation tips.
I think that statement is complete BS.
Anissa says she's asked for an individual breakdown of her bills several times and never got it.
When you see the Conservice breakdown, it says that it's literally taking all 300 units and breaking it down supposedly evenly. We're paying for everyone else's, even the empty units.
In the statement to CBS 8, a Conservice spokesperson says they are in part, quote, dedicated to ensuring fair and transparent billing on behalf of our customers and their tenants in line with local regulations and lease terms. Anissa says it's those local regulations and lease terms that need to be addressed so that she can finally get answers to her questions.
Even if it's more than what they're charging, just give me transparency into my bill.
Okay, so the class action lawsuit is still making its way through the legal system. Their next court appearance here in San Diego is set for November. To see Conservice's full statement, head on over to our website, cbs8.com.
Now, Kirsten, I'm sure a lot of people watching might be going to check their emails, check their bills to see if they use Conservice. How would they know if they have that service involved with their paying their bills?
Okay, so check this out, Jesse. I used to be a Conservice utility bill payer. It's very difficult to miss. Whenever you receive your invoice from your apartment or your utilities, it says Conservice right on the top headline. So it's very hard to miss. Just when you receive your bill, if it says Conservice, then you are paying through that utility billing system. Jesse?
All right, Kirsten Holmes staying on top of this one now for more than a week at this point. Kirsten, thank you. Dozens of United Airlines flight attendants picketed outside San Diego International Airport today, demanding changes. They say United has infrastructure and staffing issues, and they want to negotiate a new contract with the company.
Ever since the pandemic ended, United staffing at all levels of this airline has been woefully pathetic. And whenever the wind blows the wrong way at any one of our hubs, flights come to a standstill, passengers are delayed, flights get canceled.
In a statement, United Airlines says the company is working with the Association of Flight Attendants to come to an agreement, and all flights will operate as planned while the flight attendants picket.
The protest wasn't the only thing happening at San Diego International. It was a busy day ahead of the Labor Day weekend. AAA says more people will travel this weekend than last Labor Day. They're expecting as many as 14 million to travel by air. There were no major problems reported today with flights. Southwest Airlines had a meltdown last Christmas, you remember, while United had one last summer.
Today is International Overdose Awareness Day, and San Diego County leaders are sharing resources and information people have right here, pushing for an end to overdose deaths.
This comes as Narcan becomes available over the counter in pharmacies. CBS 8's Chris Groh has more tonight on what officials and advocates are saying.
And this is a very visual demonstration. This was also extremely emotional as we heard testimony from people who lost their loved ones to drug overdoses, whether that be fentanyl or other drugs. In fact, take a listen to what this mom had to say.
On May 5th of that year, Connor took one pill before going to school that day and died within minutes. I cannot bring my son back, but I know speaking today, as well as at many San Diego County events, I'm hoping I make a difference in fighting this epidemic.
And that was Mom Laura Brinker White. Her son Connor, as you just heard, was 17 when he died of an overdose that happened back on May 5th, 2021. He took a pill just before school and died within minutes. His story, one of heartbreak, and unfortunately one that we've seen far too often here in San Diego County. In fact, there were purple flags that were put out here on the lawn in front of the county administration building to represent the more than 1,300 people lost to drugs and alcohol in San Diego County just last year alone. In fact, 62% of those deaths, of those accidental overdose deaths, involved fentanyl. So again, that being one of the main contributors to this issue. In 2022, the youngest victim was 15, the oldest was 78. So today, moms, as you just heard, like Laura, also local leaders and advocates called for action, also for more awareness on the issue. They want to see not only enforcement addressed, but also the root causes of addiction.
Instead of just thinking that if we stop the supply, the demand that we have is going to stop, and that's not the case. We need to not only stop the supply, but we need to work more on the demand, because if we don't have the drugs, it doesn't mean the people that are addicted are not going to be drug addicts and have these issues anymore.
And that was the mother of Eric Gonzalez, who also lost her son there just before he turned 22. And again, we heard a lot of stories about heartbreak and how you are seeing these families who aren't just, again, losing their loved ones. They're dealing with the trauma themselves, but then trying to turn that, to use that for good. And of course, as we just pointed out here, Narcan, obviously a big component of this, making sure that that's available for those who are going through the struggles of addiction, so that we can potentially save more lives and hopefully get them on the path to sobriety. Again, all of these things go hand in hand, and that was what today was about, trying to bring awareness to all of the different facets of trying, again, to fight this problem. Reporting in downtown San Diego, I'm Chris Groh for CBS 8.
Thank you, Chris. Still ahead, dozens of alleged car thieves are off the streets tonight. We have details of Operation Sunrise.
Plus, the muscle car thieves are stealing the most, and how to keep yours safe.
We had a mixed bag of clouds today. You had some cumulus clouds that were building over the mountains, and you also had some upper level clouds that were just kind of covering every part of our county. We could actually squeeze some showers out of those clouds. We'll take a look at your complete forecast coming up.
And up next, what some San Diego water customers claim is the real reason their rates are going up.